This entire video had no real script to go off of, except this part and the outro. All of this was very improv, and the goal is just to find out if I could use Dialogue Manager to create a visual novel. In the past, I've made my own visual novel system in Godot, so this is more like general curiosity of how others do it. I will not create an entire visual novel for this video because this is just way too much work. I just want to see if all of the baseline functionality that I would want from a system exists, and if I can think of how I would go from there, because like I have enough experience with like software development that if I see the basics, I know what I theoretically have to do without having to do it. Also, my mic peaks like crazy in this because I'm kind of stupid, but that's it. Enjoy. Okay, hi. I was just browsing the Godot asset library, and I saw the dialogue manager. Like Nathan, and I don't know if it's a team behind it. They apparently used Weed Day to release a new version. This video is gonna be completely without script, but I've been meaning to do something like this forever, which is like a live reaction to a different dialogue system, right? Because I had been working on my own dialogue system for like ages now, 1.5 years, and I've made many games with it, and it's been really fun. Like, whoa, look at it. It works, hell yeah. And kind of famously, I never really I never did any research into how to design software. So it kind of grew really organically, like a tumor. And this means I don't know really how other devs do it. Like, I did some really limited research for individual features, but I've seen Dialogue Manager pop up like once or twice in my research, but I never looked into it. I don't know, I'm just gonna like talk about the ways in which our systems differ. I don't know what this video is fucking gonna be about. It's like way too early in the morning. Fuck. I'm just gonna they support visual novel making, apparently. I'm gonna do that and see if I can quickly make good demo visual novel. See if I can recreate the Dice's demo. I think it could be fun. Do they have a video on visual novel development? They do not. Okay, so do they have like they don't have a wiki. I don't know why no one has like a wiki set up, right? Right, like I have a fucking wiki where like, hey, fucking wanna make visual novel? There's the page. Okay, you're advertising, I forgot where they put the image. They're advertising visual novel in one of the images that we saw like 2 minutes ago. Fuck. And it's fine. I'm just gonna get this. This is going way off track. This is just gonna be trying to use Dialogue Manager 3 in 2 hours or less. I mean, we can infer some knowledge from this. I'm already like seeing things about like the way in which we write different code. Right, the percent sign operator. I think that's really fucking cool, but Godot is really fast. So what I tend to do is use find child, which traverses the entire fucking scene tree. Which so, who give a shit? Who give a fuck? René Descartes. What is mutated? Wait, is it like... Yeah. Where can I... What the fuck is mutated? Okay, we're just gonna use that as boilerplate. I mean, they said that, like, we can test this? I forgot where... Fuck! Oh yeah, true, because I didn't install the demo. I am so stupid. Oh, this is... Okay, let's get the demo, actually. I think it's really fucking cool how I did the thing that... The reasons why all gamers should die is because no one fucking reads tutorials. And I literally have a video tutorial in front of me and still managed to like fuck up. Oh fuck me! There's like 2 versions of the. Okay, we're going to the finished branch. I will be right back. Okay, I think we are finally. I think we finally have the thing. But when we press enter, we get text. Awesome. Is there okay, so right, we look for, hey, can you make a visual of it with dialogue manager? We get, I think this is just like a general, like, I mean, Escape from Sky is probably just like a general, whatever. We have the beginner tutorial. Then we really quickly get to Dialogic. I still haven't looked at Dialogic, by the way, for the record. Like, this is arguably, I guess, the first time I've ever looked at any other dialogue plugins in this much detail. And I'm severely struggling. This is the reason why I started coding my own, by the way. Because, like, as soon as I have to learn other people's software, my brain just shuts off. Oh, we found 90 views from 1 day ago! Oh my god! Okay, I have been sent a message. I'm watching this video and getting a visual novel set up with dialogue manager. Thank you, Lute Garlic. Okay, so I have successfully mangled Ada Rook and Purity Filter album artwork into a 9-patch rect, and I cannot be fucked to like adjust the rest of the theme. I think the theme works fine. Okay, so yeah, I successfully like followed the tutorial and I have like a very rudimentary grasp on like how anything works now. Right, like if I were to want to invest a bunch of time into this, I would add a bunch of visual polish, obviously, but like I'm mostly here just to like get a grasp on how to do shit in Dialog Manager. My goal now is to create a thing where, in a few of my games, I have a thing where I will hand off control of the UI from the dialogue UI off to some other screen, right? Maybe it's just like reading a letter or viewing an image that's not a CG, and then you close it again, and then control goes back to dices. And I want to try and make something like that in Dialog Manager, because I think that is a fairly good like test on how easy it is to just like do stuff with the system that is not just, you know, displaying a bunch of text. Okay, hi, it's post-production Snake here. This entire section is a mess, so here's a TLDR of what I found. I was looking into like how branching paths actually work, and then also discovered some other things. The tags and conditions and mutations and all that stuff are cool and powerful. It does seem like you have to track the world state yourself, i.e. you get the tags and then you have to save them yourself, and then you reference the globals that hold whatever those tags projected onto it. So if you save them to like a boolean, then you have to reference that boolean. During this brief coding adventure, I did miss code completion. So when you start typing tags or reference the functions in your globals, it'd be nice for the dialog file to prompt you with whatever options you have, because I am way too scatterbrained to keep all that in my head. But yeah, the process of hooking into those globals directly is just powerful, as is the ability to use regular like Boolean syntax. That's nice, which honestly might just integrate that into Dice's lmao. With that, I hand off to Past Snack as it is trying to get some code work in. Okay, so I'm gonna assume we're gonna run into some error, because, I mean, this doesn't exist anywhere, so where does it need to exist? Interesting, it does not throw an error. Fuck. Okay, and now we have the funny where like, right, you can see what I did, right? We have do show letter, this function exists, but this breakpoint doesn't ever even get hit, and I couldn't tell you why. Because it's clearly doing something, right? We have the like empty space, like where that function supposedly gets called. Okay, I seem to have used the inline syntax for when it wasn't inline. Awesome. I honestly think that, yeah, this gives me enough of an idea of how Dialog Manager works at a fundamental level. I don't have infinite time and I'm not going to build an entire visual novel. But from my experience creating visual novels in the past, I can imagine 100% of the code structure I would need to recreate most, if not all, of the things I've made in the past. So yeah, I'm gonna structure my thoughts a bit and then it's conclusion time. I think a initial impression of I see dialogue tool, I want to make a visual novel now. The setup of that was too slow, but again, I am incredibly impatient. Like anything beyond like 5 minutes fails this basically. However, after a bit of time investment, and again, fucking shout out to like one video tutorial on this existing, like I got it to work, and then with a bit of more like reading through the documentation, it works. This entire thing feels like it lives in Godot. Like the dialogue editor that lives inside of Godot is nice. The mutations are really sleek and fit in well. Same with conditionals and stuff too. So yeah, overall, I think I could recommend it to, like, if someone were to ask, hey, how visual novel in Godot? Yeah, I think Dialog Manager would be a viable option. The documentation seems to be very slim, very readable, very nice, and according to like, you know, the numbers that I've seen online, the community around Dialog Manager seems to be like sizable enough that you could actually get community help, which is also cool. Philosophically, I disagree with the built-in functionality to randomize dialogue, but that is a thing for another video, I guess. But you know, this is more joking, more lighthearted. Okay, not really. Like it is cool. Whatever. It's cool that it exists, I guess. If you're cringe. The actual like two things I'm unsure about is, so I have written big visual novels. I'm not sure how well Dialog Manager scales. Like, its use case seems to be more on the level of, you know, something that is not a visual novel where you walk around the world, you have like small, sometimes almost like barracks, sometimes more elaborate like dialogues. But ultimately, you maybe have like a few hundred, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 words per like dialogue instance before you get back to doing whatever. But, you know, again, I have not invested much time. I have invested one morning to noon into this. I move stuff around a lot in my visual novels, and it seems like you have to make fairly explicit references to titles and different files and stuff, which maybe there's some other way around it, but like, yeah, anyone has experience using Dialog Manager to write something that, I don't know, like 10,000, 20,000 words, let me know how that went. And lastly, saving serialization, I couldn't find anything in the API documentation. I would assume that Dialog Manager would be able to save its state in some capacity. Maybe the built-in stuff in Godot works fine, but from most other Godot developers that I've talked to, most prefer a more custom save game and loading implementation, just because sometimes Godot's built-in object serialization does break things. Those are the conclusions on Dialog Manager 3, the 3.6 version, apparently. Awesome. I don't know how to end this fucking video.